I repeatedly see people claiming that climate models are hopeless at predicting future warming, so I thought I'd supply a short history of predictions. Fourier, 1820s to 1830s. What he predicted, the Earth should be much colder given its distance from the sun. Something in the atmosphere must trap heat. Accuracy, conceptually right. He identified the greenhouse effect before the term existed. Second, Tyndall, 1859 to 1863. What he DISCOVERED, water vapor, and methane absorb infrared radiation. Changing their concentration would change climate. Accuracy spot on. His laboratory measurements stand today. Third, Arrhenius, 1896. What he predicted, doubling carbon dioxide, would warm the planet by about 4 to 6 degrees Celsius. Even calculated the warming effect of coal burning. Accuracy astonishingly close. Modern estimates put the sensitivity at 2.5 to 40 GC. He was within a degree or so using pencil and paper maths. 4. Callendar, 1930s to 1950s. Pioneer of modern climate science. What he predicted, industrial CO2 emissions were already warming the planet. Estimated climate sensitivity around 2 degrees Celsius. Accuracy broadly right. He underestimated aerosols cooling, but his warming signal matched later observations. 5. Revel and Seuss, 1957. What they predicted, human emissions would accumulate in the atmosphere and raise global temperatures. Accuracy correct. This led directly to the Keeling curve. 6. Keeling curve, 1958. Not a prediction, a measurement, but it underpins all modern predictions. SHOWED CO2 rising exactly as expected from fossil fuel use. Accuracy, perfect record for 65 plus years. 7. Manabe and Weatherold, 1967 to 1975. Early climate models. What they predicted. CO2 increases lead to surface warming, stratospheric cooling, polar amplification, greater warming over land. Accuracy, these predictions have all occurred exactly as forecast. 8. Charney Report, 1979. First major international scientific review. What it predicted, climate sensitivity, 1.5 to 4.5 DGC. Significant warming by the 21st century. Accuracy, still the accepted range today. Charney's central estimate is almost identical to the IPCC's. 9. Hansen, 1981-1988. NASA's breakthrough modeling. What he predicted, strong warming by the 2000s Arctic amplification, more heat waves, ocean heat, UPTAKECO2 would be the dominant factor. Accuracy remarkably high. His 1988 scenario B prediction matches observed warming almost perfectly. 10. IPCC first report 1990. What they predicted, 0.3 degrees Celsius per decade warming if emissions continued. Sea level rise accelerating. Accuracy very good. Observed warming has been about 0.2 degrees Celsius per decade, lower because emissions followed a gentler path than the high scenario. 11. IPCC 2001 to 2021, AR3 to AR6. Increasingly sophisticated models. What they predicted, continued warming, more extreme heat intensification of hydrological cycloarctic sea ice, decline ocean, acidification, rising sea levels, accelerating tipping points possible at high warming. Accuracy high. The big ticket predictions, warming, ice loss, ocean heat, sea level, have all come true. Most within model uncertainty ranges. Some changes, Arctic sea ice decline, ocean heat content, happened faster than predicted. So how accurate have climate predictions been overall? In summary, which predictions were right? Carbon dioxide warms the planet. Fourier, Tyndall. Arrhenius, human emissions would raise atmospheric carbon dioxide. Revel, healing, the globe would warm steadily. Arrhenius to IPCC, ice would melt fastest in the Arctic, oceans would warm and acidify, sea levels would rise and accelerate, heat waves would intensify, nights would warm faster than days, the stratosphere would cool, heavy rainfall events would increase. Which predictions were too slow? Arctic sea ice loss, ocean heat accumulation, glacier retreatsum, extreme weather trends. Which predictions were too pessimistic? Almost none. If anything, the mainstream science has been cautious. Conclusion. Climate predictions from the 19th century to today have been Consistent, physically grounded, surprisingly accurate, often conservative. The denial narrative that scientists keep being wrong collapses under even the briefest look at the history. Scientists have been right about global warming for over 125 years, and the warming itself has validated their work again and again.